Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Sunny, aka the Oracle of Alexandria, and today I have my very first pick a card reading for you all. So today's question is going to be guidance from your spirit guides. And for this reading, I've chosen 3 decks that have mythical creatures, I guess we could say, mythical beings. So in this pile 1, we have Fairy Tarot, the Mystic Fairy Tarot, I believe it's called, and the Fairy Wisdom Oracle, along with other oracle cards, of course. In this pile, we have the Last Unicorn Tarot, along with Magic of the Unicorns Oracle and other oracles. And then for this pile, we have the Mermaid Tarot and Messages from the Mermaids Oracle, I do believe is what it's called. So for pile 1, we have mostly a fairy themed reading. For pile 2, we have mostly a unicorn themed reading. And then for pile 3, we have mostly a mermaid themed reading. And I apologize in advance if my camera angle is a little odd. There's a certain spread that I like to do when doing readings, which is one that I've kind of developed intuitively over several years of reading tarot. And it's kind of difficult to fit in the screen, unfortunately, because it is very vertical. So I'm going to do the best I can to make sure that everything is clear or legible. But if some of the card names are difficult to make out, I apologize in advance. And if you don't like the view or the spread or anything like that, please let me know. If you have any suggestions about how I might be able to improve things, please let me know, because I would like to be able to do spreads where I feel like I get the most information out of them, but I see now why so many tarot readers who film their readings tend to just read horizontally. So this is my very first reading, by the way, so I appreciate you for being patient with me and for being here with me through all of my quirks as I get things going here on my channel. So with all of that out of the way, I can speak. Right, so again, pile 1, we have mostly a fairy themed reading. Pile 2, we have mostly a unicorn themed reading, and pile 3, we have mostly a mermaid themed reading. And our topic again today is going to be guidance from your spirit guides. And I know for some people, they have guides who take the form of fairies, mermaids, and unicorns. So if you happen to have a guide who takes such a form, this reading might be meant for you. So as always, this will be a timeless pick a card reading. So even if it's years after the original publication date, you feel drawn to this reading, there may be something of value for you here. I also have to say that, because these are very generalized readings, not everything in the reading may resonate with you, and that is fine. Just pick out the information that resonates with you and leave the rest. It might be for someone else watching. And of course, if your intuition has anything else to add regarding the messages in the cards, listen to that. When I watch other readers on YouTube or other platforms, wherever they may be, I will use my intuition to help flesh out the reading, because they might not see all the details meant for me in the cards. But if your intuition tells you something while you're watching a reading, it's okay to listen to it and to go to that. The reader may not see that. The reader may not interpret it the same way. So if you have any experience with tarot and your intuition is telling you something entirely different or something that the reader missed, it's okay to go ahead and kind of add that information into your reading. That's what these are for, to help you. And, sometimes we can help ourselves too. So with all of that out of the way, the last thing I want to add is that I chose these decks intuitively. And there are a few of them that I've actually either never used before or not used very often. So, for example, I have here, I believe it's called the Cosmovisions Oracle. Yes, it is. It's essentially a tarot deck, but it is the suits and the card names and everything are different. It's actually meant to be an oracle that goes with a tarot deck by the same author. So normally I would use 2 tarot decks for my reading. You'll see the way I do my spread. But today my intuition told me to get the Cosmovisions Oracle out for my readings. And so here's the thing. I've never actually used it before. I may need to rely on the book. I am familiar with it, but I've never actually used it in a reading before. So again, I appreciate you bearing with me through this. I'm hoping that the interesting will be reading, or backwards speak. I am dyslexic, so I apologize. I'm hoping that this will be interesting, will provide for an interesting reading using this instead of another tarot. I do like that it kind of has a fantasy theme going on with it. So, it will fit with the rest of our reading, I think, quite nicely. All right. So anyway, all of that out of the way. Thank you so much for bearing with me through this long intro, and let's get started with pile number 1. Okay, pile one. So I went ahead and sorted out all of the cards here for our reading. Again, these decks were chosen intuitively, and the cards will be placed mostly intuitively as well. Since pile one is a fairy themed reading, we are going to go ahead and place the fairy oracle here at the center of our reading. And then, let's see, we will go ahead and just kind of see how things go as we progress. So if you see me kind of placing cards in random positions in the spread, it's not so much random as it is me placing them intuitively. Right, so pile one, what guidance does your spirit guides have to offer you? What wisdom do these Fae decks have to offer you? All right, so today we have Jewel of the Sea. This column of cards here represents the dominant energy, the theme or context for the reading. So that's what these cards here, they're kind of setting things up. We have the unicorn relationships. Oh, uncored relationships. I should actually read the card instead of reading through my viewfinder. But yes, okay. We'll explore this a little bit more in depth here. And then we have contentment. Right, so this is already looking to be an interesting reading. I apologize about the glare. Unfortunately, I don't have the space for a fancy light setup to try and eliminate glare, so I'm going to have to try and see what I can do with brightness and whatnot in post-editing. So, right. So, for here we have the Jewel of the Sea at the center of the reading. And this card here is about depth. This card here is about diving into the deep end of life, exploring the richness of everything that we have going on in our lives, investing fully in things that matter to us. Then we have uncored relationships. The keywords on this one are let go now and forgiveness is freedom. So with this card, there may be some relationships that need to be let go for your own highest good, maybe for the highest good of the other person also. Hopefully the tarot cards will flesh that out a little bit more for us. And then we have contentment. So here we have not just being content with what we have in life, but I think especially when combined with Jewel of the Sea, which is interesting, this is meant to be a fairy deck. We have two mermaids, actually a mermaid from the fairy deck. So that is awesome. When you combine these two together, contentment and Jewel of the Sea, we have this sense of looking for the things that make us happy in life, kind of soul searching, not just being content with what you have, because here we're uncording relationships. And it doesn't have to be just human relationships. It can be maybe spiritual relationships that aren't serving your highest good. It could be material relationships too. You know, there are a lot of things that sometimes we need to cut out of our life. So we need to dive into the deep side of the pool of life and really kind of boil down what makes us happy, what do we really want, and how can we get it. So since this tends to be the widest part of my reading here, my spread, let's see, I think that is a good angle for us to continue. So next we are going to do the fairy, mystic fairy tarot, I believe it's called. These are, let's see, the bottom card is the shadow card, which we will look at later. So I'm going to put this with the other shadow cards. And then the same for our, there we go, for our Cosma visions, I believe. They are cards. Okay. Right. And I'll go ahead and place these here so that we already have this taken care of and out of the way. Oops. Okay. And then the last couple of cards here. All right. So we're going to get to all the cards eventually, but this is what our main spread looks like here. So, okay. So moving on to the Mystic Fairy Tarot cards. We have Death, which right away makes me come back here to the uncored relationships. Okay, the World and the Eight of Swords here. The Knight of Pentacles and Temperance. Okay, and hopefully all of those are easy to see and there's not too much glare. And then for our final card on the left side of the reading here, we have Strength. And it's actually, it's not the tarot strength. So that's interesting. Sorry. I get easily amused by silly things, so please forgive me. Okay. So right away in this row here, we see that there are things coming to an end and coming to a conclusion. And looking back at the central cards here, this certainly makes sense. This is what we almost would expect to see with the uncored relationship cards. So again, it could be interpersonal relationships that need to run their course and come to their conclusion so that you can have a fresh start. It could be spiritual relationships. Maybe there is, for example, a deity or spirit guide that you feel drawn to, but that you have ignored for different reasons. Maybe there are just guides that you're clinging onto, or deities, for example, that you're clinging onto that you aren't having much luck with on your path. So when we're talking about uncording relationships here, and again, we're going deep, we have this depth element to the reading. It's not always just our physical human relationships. So we need to examine here our spiritual life. So there is certainly a spiritual element to, for example, temperance and even strength. And of course, death, actually. So we have conclusions here. We have endings. We have things that are no longer serving our highest good, that have run their course, and that we need to let go of. Maybe there is a situation where someone needs to be forgiven, and forgiveness can be difficult, but it can also be very healing. And so if there is someone that you need to forgive so that you can move on with your life, on your path, that is certainly something to consider. With the Eight of Swords here, and the world, we see that there's a fear of possibly letting go, or a fear of starting something new. Usually, the figure in the Eight of Swords is bound, but still able to move freely. And oftentimes, they are keeping themselves trapped with thought patterns that are no longer serving their highest good. Or, in this case, it could be holding on to relationships that have run their course and that need to let go. And, again, we are called to dive deep and look for what makes us happy in our life. How can we get it? What do we need to change about the current situation to get there, to free ourselves so that we can move on? So we have the Knight of Pentacles here. And the energy of this card is very much about investing. So it's not unlike this one, diving deep. This one here is about investing in what you want. Investing in what is meaningful to you. So, to free yourself from this, from the Eight of Swords, you need to invest in moving towards the conclusions of the old things that need to be cut away and moving towards your new beginning here. With Temperance, of course, we have, the usual themes of balance and moderation and two not opposing, but like dualistic forces coming together and blending as one. But I think here that this card is about more than balance. There is healing that needs to happen so that you can free yourself here and begin to pursue the new beginning that the world promises for you. So, with Temperance, I'm getting a very strong sense that the energy of the card here is about healing, and that can be healing through balance, through moderation, through bringing order into your life. But it can also be a card about seeking your purpose and harmonious relationships, which blends very nicely with the energy of the Knight of Pentacles. So we see we have a need for an ending or a conclusion here from a situation that is less than ideal, that is not necessarily serving your highest good. And here we see that there needs to be an investment in achieving that change. It's time to embrace the need to let go. And we need to be strong, obviously, to do this kind of deep inner spiritual work. It's not easy. I don't know about you, pile one, but I tend to be a person who likes to take the path of least resistance. And so these sorts of messages can be very intimidating. But your guides would not be sending them to you if it weren't serving your highest good. And so we need to look not just at finding our purpose in life, but what's going to make us happy and what is going to help us have harmonious relationships in our lives, what's going to help us have balance. Okay, let's look at the cards on the other side here. Oh, wow. So this is Death, but this card is actually the Fool in this deck. So it's not actually Death coming out twice. Then we have the Two of Wands. The Phoenix, I'm not sure. Let's see. The number on that is 5. Is that the High Priest? I believe that's the High Priest. Sorry, I don't have the order of the majors memorized since not every deck uses the same ordering anyway. The 4 of Trees, this would be the 4 of Coins or Pentacles. And then we have Infinite Paths. And lastly, we have Eagle Spirit, Freedom. Okay, well, we have a lot of reiterating the same message here on both sides of the reading, with Death appearing twice, a card about freedom, like we see here, and here, actually. Okay, so this is very interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and look up Infinite Paths and the Phoenix in the guidebook, because I'm not exactly sure which cards these are meant to be. Like, I thought I was better with Roman numerals, but I can't even figure out what number that's meant to be. So that's my bad. I apologize. Okay, so we can see here the mirror card for the Phoenix is indeed the Hierophant. So that is very helpful. I'm sorry I keep bumping the table. I don't have a lot of space, actually. I apologize. Right. And for Infinite Pathways, we can see that the mirror card here is the Sun. So I think we have here a little bit more context on some of the things that we were looking at on this side of the reading. So this is, according to the book, this is a card about spirituality. And this one can be a card about changes. So let's see, this is the Sun. It's so weird because it's giving me world vibes, honestly. Or even Fool vibes. Like, I think Infinite Paths, and I think about either being at a crossroads or being at the end of one journey and starting another, and having infinite potential in front of us for where we can go. Then we have the 2 of Wands, which are called the Embers in this deck, the 4 of Coins. So with the Fool, we always have a need for a new beginning. And again, we've got the same messages kind of being reiterated throughout the reading. There's a need for freedom from something. And it does seem very likely that the reason is either to be able to pursue a spiritual path or relationship, or a change is needed in existing spiritual relationships for your own highest good. So again, there may be a deity or a spirit guide that you are ignoring or resisting working with for one reason or another, and it may be worthwhile taking a deeper look at the situation and seeing if perhaps there are things about it that you missed. What's interesting is that the 4 of Trees here, the 4 of Coins, just makes me think balance, just like Temperance does. So we have a lot of so many reiterated messages here. I do believe that, obviously, with the Sun here, if you are able to embrace this change and make the necessary change to let go of whatever is no longer serving your highest good, to start this new journey, as we see in these 2 cards especially, and this one, it's going to work out okay. So here we have a lot in the Four of Coins that we could look at. The Four of Coins can be about stinginess, clinging on to something, and it could be that you are holding on to some sort of relationship, probably something of a spiritual nature, that is not serving you again. So if you can get up the courage to let go or think about letting go, you have the sun shining on that opportunity. But the Four of Coins is not just about stinginess. There is, again, that element to it that can be about contentment and having enough. So here we see in the image here, there is a farm, and the fields are full of flowers, and the trees are nice and full. Can't really tell if there's any fruit necessarily on the trees, but it's a very idyllic scene. So again, I'm getting the same energy from contentment here, that you are holding on to something, and actually you have everything you need. And there could be other things that will make you happier, that if you just let go and pursue that new beginning. There is, again, that element to it that can be about contentment and having enough. So here we see in the image here, there is a farm, and the fields are full of flowers, and the trees are nice and full. Can't really tell if there's any fruit necessarily on the trees, but it's a very idyllic scene. So again, I'm getting the same energy from contentment here, that you are holding on to something, and actually you have everything you need. And there could be other things that will make you happier, that if you just let go and pursue that new beginning, you will flourish. You will find happiness. You will find contentment. I think it's also interesting too that, the eagle is a very spiritual symbol as well. In fact, the Pegasus can be also. So there's more than just freedom here. There's spiritual empowerment here in this card. So here we have things that need to come to a natural end, that you need to let go of and set yourself free from, so that you are able to move on. And when you do that, when you take that deep dive into your life and begin that new journey, what's interesting here is that the Two of Wands, or Embers, can be about planning and logistics and examining situations deeply in order to prepare your future steps. And so again, you are encouraged to look deeply at your current situations, find what is not serving you, and let go or forgive, so that you can let go of that resentment and allow yourself to heal and grow. Now, that isn't to say that everyone who has ever wronged you deserves forgiveness. There may be a situation that the individual in question absolutely does not. That is for you to discern. But generally, depending on the gravity of the situation, letting go of that resentment will help you find freedom. And taking these steps is, in essence, it's blessed by the sun, the light of the sun. It will be a positive thing for your progress on your path, for your growth, and even for your happiness. Okay, let's look at the shadow cards and see how they affect the reading, and then we will go on to the last round of oracles and so on. Having two mermaids there again kind of tripped me up a little bit. I had to think about which one. Okay, right. So let's see how the energy of the quote-unquote theme or context or dominant energy of the situation will change. Yes, okay. Okay, so here we have ask for help. And then we have the fire dancer. This makes me think of the phoenix. Very cool, very interesting. And also the sun. Right? And the spiritual warrior. Show you are a wise leader. Command the universe. Okay. So again, I'm not well versed with this deck, so I'm going to take a quick look at the guidebook here for Fire Dance, card 33. I really do like this deck. I just don't like that there are no keywords on the cards, and the way it's done, unfortunately, leaves you kind of dependent on the book. Okay. So the keyword here is fire energy. It's very interesting. The fire dance represents the dance of life, for it is the giving of life, which is the function of the Kundalini energy force, also known as serpent energy. Kundalini is a natural sexual energy that is stored at the base of the spine. It is through this energy that life and creation are achieved. The Kundalini energy is a mighty force that should be allowed to awaken at its own natural pace. It will naturally open as you become more loving and more conscious of your own divinity and connection to spirit. Fire energy that is awakened too soon is at risk of misdirection. It is wiser to study, read, and work on your own spiritual understanding. This will gently let the fire energy rise. Balance is very important in this energy system and promotes well-being on all levels. Though we refer to this as sexual energy, it is not limited to sexual use. All creation uses this energy. It is the creative force in the physical body. It is not completely dormant, even in the least enlightened being. This energy is in constant use daily in conjunction with all of your energy systems, which all work together. This is a wonderful but very powerful energy which demands respect. This card may also indicate you have been feeling low in energy. If so, be sure to review your eating exercise and sleep habits. Review your eating, exercise, and sleep habits. Take good care of yourself and make a releasing of worries statement to yourself and the universe. Consult a doctor if there is any real problem. Okay, so, wow. That was a lot of text to sort of reiterate a bit of what we saw with uncored relationships. So with this card, with this energy, there is a spiritual awakening that needs to happen. We see it here with the phoenix, that it's time for you to rise up from the ashes, as it were, of your old life. of the old ways of being that were not serving your highest good or your spiritual growth. The sun is blessing you in doing this. The situation is right. You have everything you need. You just have to have the courage to take the steps and make that happen. So if, in fact, you need help, it's okay to ask for help. And that can be from spiritual leaders or guides, from tarot readers, from astrologers, from whomever you feel drawn to seek help from. And that can also be from books, from spiritual teachers, I think I said that, but from guides also, or deities. Whatever source that you go to, that you feel drawn to get help with this situation, it is worth it. You are encouraged to do so. And again, we have here, with the spiritual warrior, I think you are, that you are encouraged to do this, to make this change, because it is a wise choice for you. But again, we have that message of strength that we had over here in the Enchanted Blossoms Oracle. That strength and courage, as well as wisdom, as well as taking that deep dive to examine the situation, are going to serve you best in this time. Okay, let's take a look at, for our Enchanted Blossoms Shadow card, which is the card from the bottom of the deck. We have dreams. And if you're interested in the herb and butterfly species there in the card. Okay. And then we have here, yes, we have the priestess. Okay. So again, very strong spiritual imagery and messaging here. Oh, and then here we have the veil. Okay. So this is 17, right? I'm sorry, I'm not better with Roman numerals. At least I'm not quick with them anyway. Okay. Okay. So this one here, the mirror card for this one is the Star. And I am just reading this as a tarot card, which I think doesn't really do it justice given the name and the imagery on the card. But when the star shows up, we have guidance in our light. We have our life. We have a guiding light to shine the way, to illuminate the path. Very similar to the sun. But in this case, I feel like here, ask for help. That this light, be it a person or a spirit guide or whatever, a book of wisdom that you consult, whatever it may be, even your own inner knowing can help guide you to make the right decision. And this here, the priestess, another card about intuition and inner knowing. Remember, beneath ask for help, we had contentment, which wasn't just about being happy with what you have, but looking for what will make you happy. And I think deep down inside, you know what that is. And your intuition can guide you moving forward. And deep down, you know what that is because it is something that you dream about, something that perhaps you've dreamed about for a very long time. And you are worthy of having it. The sun is here. You are ready to rise up. You've got everything you need. You can have your dreams and you deserve to have them. All you have to do is take those first steps to free yourself, listen to your intuition and your guidance, ask for help if you need it, and make the necessary changes. Cut away the old relationships or thought patterns or beliefs whatever it may be, that are no longer serving you in your progress on your path, that is no longer serving your highest good, let it go. Take up that sword or that athame or whatever it may be that you as a spiritual warrior are going to wield, and cut loose what needs to be cut loose. Yep. Spirit guardian of autumn, letting go so you can have your freedom. You can have the change, the rebirth of the phoenix, but you have to let go. When the seasons change, all of the growth that happened from the previous year is being released. And since we have forest imagery here, a lot of plants hibernate through the winter. They're resting. They're letting go of the old year so that they can prepare for the next year, for the new beginning of the Fool here, called Death in this deck. It may be that you are ready to come out of hibernation. In fact, it's not that it may be, it's that you are ready. But you have to let go of your old attachments from the last year, from the previous cycle, and give yourself that fresh start. Okay, so I have a few more oracles, and then I'm going to do some fun Greek alphabet oracle stones for you. So first, I want to look at these two cards from the Mausolea Oracle. And again, this is one that I don't have a lot of experience with, but I'm going to go for it. And I have a feeling that these are going to be very deep spiritually in terms of guidance. So here we have Hathor, the mistress of harmony, meditation, mediation, communication, and culture. So with the Mausolea Oracle, known deities worshipped by humanity are used in the deck, but it's not a one-to-one correlation. It kind of has its own context for these. So I don't think that this is out of character for Hathor necessarily, but it's not all that Hathor is or is associated with. So if you're familiar with her and you're saying that's not right, just give it a moment to unfold here. All right, and then we have the Prince, the forgotten adversary. Sorrow, lost valor, and serendipity. Okay. So I am curious what the guidebook has to say for the Prince. So let's see. Oh, right. There's no... let's see. Unfortunately, there's not a proper table of contents for this deck. So one moment while I flip through and try to find the correct page. Okay. So the Prince. The shattered remains of a once great devil who fought against the rulers of Urkala and lost badly. An empty but still fearsome shell, his very presence as he wanders the borders of the realm serves to chase away the constant encroachers from the outer darkness, who were once his allies, although he himself has no memory. The Prince reminds us that to dwell in disgrace, sorrow, and loss has an impact on the world around us. Sometimes an unlooked for benefits. Oh, I see. Okay. Sorry, I misread that. Sometimes unlooked for benefits, and sometimes ironic self-sabotage. Okay. So, right. I get it now. It is possible for some of you pile 1, watching this reading, that you have sorrow or failures in your past that may be what are holding you back in the Eight of Swords that was behind the High Priestess here. And now I see, so the forgiveness here is not just for others. You need to forgive yourself. The mediation, the communication, you need to make peace with yourself. Forgive yourself for any failures or wrongdoings. Again, you are worthy of having your dreams. You are worthy of achieving your goals. You deserve it. Spirit would not be sending you this message now if you didn't deserve it. Your guides would not be sending you this communication now if you were not worthy of having this. Hathor is an Egyptian goddess of love. And here with the prince, the forgotten adversary, you are worthy of self-love. And you need to find that ability within you to forgive yourself and to love yourself. To accept that you are worthy so that you can continue on your path. You need to find that balance. My boyfriend has a saying that popped into my mind here. And I don't know where he got it from. So if this is a well-known saying that I'm recycling from him, I apologize. But redemption is not absolution. So any wrong deeds that we've done in our past that we are holding against ourselves, we can't really undo them. We can't change the past. But going forward, we can do better. And for some of you, pile 1, watching this reading, you need to give yourself that opportunity to do better by understanding your own worthiness, your own value, by forgiving yourself and allowing yourself to grow. Allow yourself to be reborn as the phoenix and become someone that you love, someone that you can be happy with. And that is something that we are capable of. That is a journey that I myself have made and that you too can make. But sometimes we need to get out of our own way and give ourselves that opportunity to let it happen. And sometimes we need help, and that's okay. There's no shame in needing help or support. It's okay to ask for help. You may be a spiritual warrior, but you don't have to fight alone. And even here in this card, we have a lion and it has a unicorn ally with it. You are not alone. You clearly have spirit guides who care about you, who value you and your growth and your path, and they want you to see that value too. That you are worthy of forgiveness, that you can redeem yourself, and that you are ready. Whatever it is that you're dreaming of, you are ready. You just need to allow yourself to have it, to go for it. Okay, the last couple of oracle cards here are just going to be a couple of nice little sort of affirmations, I guess. So this one here, follow what lights you up. Exactly. Your dreams, what makes you happy. You're ready. Go ahead and search for it. Allow yourself to have it. You deserve it. It's okay to have needs and to fulfill them. I think this card kind of speaks for itself. It is okay to have needs. It is okay to fulfill them. You just have to accept this for yourself. Because it is true. And if you don't feel worthy, it's okay, you are. Trust that your guides know you are worthy of self-love and forgiveness. And it's okay for you to seek your dreams, to follow what makes you happy. So for our final little message here, pile 1, I'm going to go ahead and do a Greek alphabet oracle stone reading. And if you are interested in picking one of these up for yourselves, this is where I got mine. You can find her on Etsy, and she also has her own website, HellenicHandmade.com. For when it comes to Etsy, some recent news has come out that apparently the company, or the platform, I should say, has been kind of extorting their sellers. So if you don't want to support Etsy, which I don't blame anyone for not wanting to support that platform, by all means, check out her personal website, because these are very nicely made. So if you're not familiar with this, it is very similar to rune stones, except these have, I don't really know much about, I guess they would be Scandinavian runes. I'm not sure what the proper word is, because runes come from a cultural group that's very expansive. But it's very similar. I don't know much about runes proper, but for the Greek alphabet oracle, every letter has a phrase associated with it. And what you do is you put the stones, at least this is how I do it, put the stones in a bowl or a cup, mix them up, make sure, and then you just spin them around until some pop out. Another way you can do it is and when one pops out, that is your message. And unfortunately, it just fell. So one moment while I retrieve it. Okay, so we have the letter C, and the meaning of this oracle stone letter, this alphabet oracle, let's call it that, is justice. So the phrase associated with this stone is, or this letter, I'm sorry, is, proper is this judgment from the gods. So this judgment that you need to forgive yourself, that you need to realize your own worthiness, that even if you cannot change the past or undo it, that you are allowed to move forward, to have that fresh start, to give yourself the opportunity to do better, to repair any damage that may have been done, by letting go of old toxic patterns or people or beliefs, whatever they may be. You are worthy. You deserve justice too. So I hope that this reading helps you see that you are worthy, because it really does seem like that is the message that Spirit is wanting you to really internalize here, is that it doesn't matter what the past is, you have your whole future ahead of you. So thank you so much for your patience and for joining me, Pile 1, on this, my very first video recording for YouTube. I've done this for friends and clients and family and so on. This is the first time I've done it for my channel. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to know more about the decks that I got or the alphabet oracle, things like that, I will have some resources down below for you in the video description, along with links to where I got my various decks and so on, or where you may be able to find them now. All of that said, again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this reading, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing, as it would really help my channel. And also, by subscribing, you can get updates for future pick a card readings that may be helpful for you in the future. So thank you again, and hopefully I will see you in a future video. Until then, take care. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome to my channel and welcome to this reading today. So for today's reading, if you chose this pile, this is the unicorn themed reading with the last unicorn tarot and the magic of the unicorn's oracle. And today our question or theme for the reading is, what guidance do your spirit guides have for you? What would they like you to know? So I'm going to go ahead and sort the cards here. So all of the decks for this reading were chosen intuitively. And let's see. Okay. When I place the cards for the spread, just know that I am also placing them intuitively also. Let's see. Sorry, I am sorting out the shadow cards and the not shadow cards for the reading so that we can, let's see. I don't know which oracles will be used in the main spread, but anyway. So when I lay out the cards, I'm going to be doing that intuitively. So if it looks like I'm just placing cards in random positions, just know that I'm intuiting it. And I apologize in advance if my camera angle is a little odd or difficult to see. Sorry, allergies. So I apologize if my camera angle is a little odd or difficult to see. There is a particular spread that I like to do for my readings, one that I've developed over years of my practice. So, I'm trying to preserve that for YouTube. But if it's too hard to see, or if you don't like it, or if you have any other feedback, please let me know in the comments down below so that I can try to do better going forward. In any case, let's see. So this is the unicorn themed reading. So we're going to go ahead and put the unicorn card here at the center. And then, let's see. Okay. Right. So these three cards represent the dominant energy, the context of the situation, or the theme for the reading that we're about to do. So let's take a look and see what the cards have to tell us here. Okay. We're off to a good start. We have open to abundance, believe you deserve, accept plenty and prosperity. I really like that message. So here we have the Fairy Wisdom Oracle. And this card is Wild Violet. I'm trying to fit everything in the viewfinder here. Okay. And last, we have Friendship. So this sounds like a very positive reading. Okay, so before we dig into these, I'm going to go ahead and lay out the rest of the cards for the spread here. And that will be the tarot cards. And then here I have some Cosmovision cards from the Cosmovision's Oracle. This is not exactly a tarot deck, but it also is sort of a tarot deck, just with different names for the suits and different card ordering, sort of, and so on. So Let's see. For your main deck here, we're going to use the last Unicorn Tarot. And hopefully, the unicorn will grace us with her presence in this reading because she's not on every card. So. All right. Okay. Now it's time to see which oracle cards are going to be in this spread and which won't. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at let's look here at the central column here. So I think open to abundance is, it speaks for itself very well. Wild Violet is an interesting one. I really like this deck, but the cards are not, they don't have keywords or information that triggers your intuition very well. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the book for this one real quick. Okay, so for Wild Violet, the keyword is romance. It may be time to perk up a current love affair or to welcome a new one into your life. Think of all the romantic things you can do. We always hear about fairy tale romances, but as fairies will tell you, it doesn't happen without some effort. A relationship should be based on mutual respect and honesty and love. Small things go a long way in perking up a relationship. There is the small kiss on the cheek, just for nothing, or the hug at the door. Really listening to your partner is vital to any relationship. Get the basic building blocks under the relationship, and then keep building. Even if you are not currently in a relationship with another person, you can treat yourself by creating a space in your home to pamper yourself. Romance isn't just for some. It's about a pretty tablecloth and flowers in a vase, soft music to relax by, or a nice glass of wine to drink before a warm fire. You are worth the effort. How can you put more romance into your life? Okay, so this is very interesting. So open up to abundance, and then friendship here. Is it possible for some of you, pile two, that there maybe is a friendship that is kind of on the verge of becoming something more, and that you need to open yourself up to it, to allow it to happen? Believe you deserve. Accept plenty and prosperity. So yes, very interesting. So let's go ahead and take a look at the tarot cards here. So here we have the Nine of Coins, the Ace of Cups, the Hanged Man, the King of Swords. Very interesting. The Knight of Wands. Wow. So we have a lot of positive energy here in the tarot cards. And then for the oracle card on this side of the reading, we have beginnings and The flower is daffodil, and I guess the butterfly is called violet copper. At least the wings come from that species of butterfly. Anyway, okay. So, wow, we have beginnings here. We have beginnings here. We sort of have beginnings here. Very interesting. And it seems that there is a need for a new perspective, for your new beginning to happen. So, it seems like, given your current position, that you are possibly sitting pretty. You have everything you need. You don't really need anything else. You have everything you could ever want. And yet, you need to open yourself up to abundance. There is more coming to you, and you need to believe that you deserve it. You need to accept that plenty and prosperity. I'm feeling like for some of you, there may be possibly a love triangle situation here. And it could be that there are two very different suitors in your life. So you have the Knight of Wands, who is someone who is very passionate. This person would be someone who's a very go-getter, who's probably very good at speaking their mind, who may be very forward about their feelings or perhaps interest in you. And then you have the King of Swords, who is someone who is more, possibly more mature, maybe even in age. And it doesn't necessarily have to be someone who is male or masculine. It could be anyone. But this is usually someone who is very confident. How to describe the King of Swords? Right, I need to find my words here, sorry. Right, so this is someone who is very confident and secure in themselves. This is someone who is probably very intellectual, who's very well organized, who has a very structured life, someone very professional also. And it is possible that for some of you, pile 2, one of these represents you and the other represents your person that you may currently have a friendship with and you need to open up to. And this is the Ace of Cups here. So again, we've got romance here and we've got romance here. Opening up to a new romance, a new romantic endeavor, new emotional relationship. Okay, let's go ahead and see what the other side of the reading has for us here, because one side usually tends to flesh out the other with this spread. So we have the Composer. I believe this is a court card. The Maze. This is number 14, so this is what? The Tower? I will need to look that up. I apologize. The Six of Lotuses. So this is the Six of Cups, which is very interesting because Six of Cups often has friendship energies to it, and you've got the Friendship Oracle card there. Then you've got the Protector. Wow, very much like a Knight or even a King of Swords. Let's see. Karma. And this is number 11, which is the Wheel of Fortune, correct? I should know the order of my majors by now, given how many years I've been reading tarot, but since not every deck uses the same ordering for the majors, I haven't actually memorized where they all go. And then for the final oracle card, for the right side of the reading, we have Thicket of Thorns, which is uncertainty. Okay, so I find it interesting that here you are being encouraged to open yourself up to abundance and believing you deserve. Here we have uncertainty and the Wheel of Fortune. I'm pretty sure that's it. Let me double check. But In either case, here, it seems like that there is some uncertainty that you deserve to have something. Perhaps maybe even a sense of unworthiness, especially with karma here. Many people see karma as a sort of judgment system. It really isn't. But there is this sense that for some of you, pile two, some of you watching, may feel unworthy, and you deserve, and you need to believe that you deserve. So let me check the book here real quick and double check. Let's see. So that I'm not just making stuff up for cards. Yes, okay. So for karma, the mirror card here is justice. And if you'd like to read that, you are welcome to pause and read. I'm also going to check the maze real quick, just to be sure, again, that I'm on the right card when I'm speaking here. Let's see. Okay, so this is Temperance. The maze, the mirror card is Temperance. All right, and then we also need to look up the composer and the protector. So I will do that. You know, it's also interesting. Here we have two court cards, and here we have two court cards. Only one major on this side, but that's not a big deal. So, yeah, that's very interesting that we have two cards on each side that can represent a possible love interest. And then you have here the maze, which is Temperance, which is about balance, which is about two opposites coming together in union, in unity, a union of opposites, of dualistic forces in a sense. So let me double check which majors are indicated by the composer and the protector, and then we will move on. Okay, so to give you viewers at home a little more context on these strange court cards, these cards are about the importance of being and represent personalities, characteristics, flaws, and skills. You are not one, but all. The 16 beings speak to ourselves. You are not one of these, but all. Some of us have more of these identities active at a single time, and others exhibit only a few. Yours may change depending on the situation, time, or place. When you see one come up in a reading, it is a strong indicator of your personality in the current situation. When you see many, it may suggest that you have many different feelings about the situation, or it may allude to a harmonious balance of different aspects of yourself coming together. The 16 beings create the bridge between the four suits. These are the court cards transformed. So for the protector, the protector is the King of Wands. And then right behind that, the composer is the Page of Chalices, which I suppose maybe should have been obvious since there was lotuses in the card art. Perhaps I should have looked a little more closely there. I apologize. But yes, the protector, the King of Wands, and the Page of Lotuses. So, this is very interesting. According to the guidebook, this could represent multiple aspects of your own personality. Okay, so what's interesting is that the guidebook said that if you have multiple of these show up in a reading, that they can represent different aspects of ourselves that need to be brought into harmony or union. And then we have the maze, which is Temperance, which is a card with associations of two opposing forces being brought into harmony and balance. So with the protector, we have I'm getting a sense of resistance, which is kind of reiterated here in the uncertainty card. And then with the composer, we have something that is more creative and playful. So I feel like there is a side of you that is resistant to perhaps a friendship, perhaps a romance, as we see here. That is resistant to change here, from the abundance and open to abundance. Perhaps even resistant to the change of a friendship. Many people will rationalize, why would I want to risk losing a friendship by allowing it to progress to a relationship? Well, I can tell you from experience that some relationships that end amicably and don't necessarily mean the end of a friendship. So if you are someone who is thinking along those lines, that may be something to consider. Anyway, so we have this resistant, competitive energy here. And then we have this playful, open energy here that is creative. It is a page. So it's energy that's willing to explore. And being the Page of Cups or Lotuses, this is a page that is willing to explore love. So you need to open to the aspect of yourself, the part of yourself that is willing to give love a chance, as the Wild Violet encourages you to do. And you need to navigate the maze and bring your Page of Cups composer energy into harmony with your protector energy. You may be trying to protect yourself from heartbreak. You may be trying to protect yourself from losing a friendship. You may be trying to protect yourself from getting lost in uncertainty when you have already everything you need. But what Spirit wants you to know, what your guides want you to know, Pile 2, is that it's okay to let down your guard and to just go with the flow. Karma has a sense of destiny attached to it. Perhaps not so much in a traditional Eastern sense, but for people in the West, many of us think of karma as a sort of fate-like system. And it's not always understood that way traditionally, but we have that association with it. And you have fate asking you to reconcile these two opposing sides of yourself. Here we have the Six of Lotuses, which is, I had mentioned before that there are things about friendship here. There's also an energy to the Six of Cups, Six of Lotuses, about making peace, about making a kind gesture, in this case to yourself, to reconcile your differences, to set aside your fear, your nervousness, your resistance, and open yourself up to abundance, to love, to change. Yes, you are very comfortable where you are. You don't need this new love. But Spirit is encouraging you, your guides are encouraging you to open yourself up and consider the possibility. Give yourself that beginning, even though you fear uncertainty. Again, there's a need for a new perspective on the situation. a new way of seeing it or thinking about it, so that you can embrace it and move forward. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you absolutely will decide to become part of a couple or a relationship or expand your existing relationship, whatever your personal dynamics are. But at least explore it. Your guides are asking you to, really examine the situation. Take a good look at it before you make your final decision, because there may be things that you aren't seeing from your current vantage point over the situation. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lay out the shadow cards here. And let's see what they have to say. So here we have breaking free. And I'm really getting a sense of breaking free from that resistance of the part of ourselves that wants to protect us from getting hurt. I am presence. Expand your stellar gateway. I am that I am. And then we have the book fairy. So what I'm seeing already is sort of a reiteration of what we're already having here. So this card here, again, it's asking you to break free from that part of yourself that is resisting change, that is clinging to your current status quo and resisting even gaining a new perspective on the situation. Your guides want you to know that it's worth giving it another look. Here, I am presence. Expand your stellar gateway. And then here, the book fairy. So the book fairy is about gaining knowledge and wisdom. Expand your stellar gateway. Expand your perspective. Give this situation another look. It deserves it. For our tarot cards here, we have the King of Coins. So the King of Coins is over the Ace of Cups here, which is at the center of the left side of the reading. The King of Coins is someone who is very happy and content. He has built a life for himself, a family for himself. He has cultivated his garden, his life. He is successful. This is a good omen for those of you considering this relationship. This is a good omen. Okay, 13, past lives. I believe this is the death card. It'll allow me to double check before I start speaking on it and assume wrongly. Yes, okay. Past lives. The mirror card for past lives is death. And even here, expansion, spirituality, and awareness are what are considered the upright meaning. So again, expansion, expand your perspective. Here you have a unicorn that looks like it's over a planet, like it's seeing the whole vantage point, okay? Here you're being encouraged to, again, get a new look. Let go of old ways of being, of old ways of thinking about a situation that may not be serving your highest good right now, and open yourself up to that new perspective. to new ideas. Open yourself up to a new expanded perspective on the situation. Open yourself up to gaining more knowledge. And some of that knowledge that you need to gain is through direct experience. The King of Coins is a very material card, very material energy. You are encouraged to experience this love in this relationship. So here we have tranquility from the Enchanted Blossoms Oracle for the left side. This is another positive sign about this relationship, about the change that it has, the potential it has to bring to your life. Like, you may have everything you need, or you may think you have everything you need. You may feel like it, but maybe there's something missing. Tranquility. What do you need to bring into your life to have tranquility? And for some of you, that may very well be opening up to giving a new relationship a chance. And for our last oracle card here, this is the Sacred Forest Oracle. The Enchanted Fern Grotto. Here we have refuge. So we are moving from uncertainty into a refuge. You don't know what lies ahead of you, but here your guides are telling you that what lays ahead of you is something happy and comfortable. Again, the King of Coins, tranquility, and now you have refuge. Genuinely considering this change, this relationship, giving it the due diligence the situation is worthy of, will allow you to open yourself up to abundance, to expansion, to tranquility, to happiness, to security, refuge. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do the last few oracle cards that I have for you here. So the first card is Abraham, Justice of Pandemonium, and his keywords are justice, truth, and duty. And then we have the Leper King, the Sword of Law, bravery, self-discipline, and faith. So here we have that sort of protector energy, that resistance energy, the Sword of Law. You rule yourself like a king of swords. You have a lot of structure, obviously. You are very content in your current situation. You have a lot of discipline and self-discipline. That's on the card there. You have your life put together in the way that you want it. It's very ordered. But it's interesting that the last keyword here is faith. So you have this resistance energy and you have a need to trust. And sometimes that may be a need to trust that we need to act, to resist, to fight, to protect ourselves. In this case, you are being asked to have faith in your guides, letting you know that this situation has the potential to increase your happiness and your abundance. And then here, Justice of Pandemonium. If there is any doubt that you deserve this, some of you may be resisting because you don't think you are worthy of this. This is justice. You are worthy. That is the truth. It's that you are worthy. of having this relationship. You are worthy of opening yourself up to it and allowing all of the potentials that come with that. But you have to have the strength to go for that also. Opening ourselves up to love puts us in a very vulnerable state sometimes. And while I do believe that everything is probably going to go pretty well with this situation, you need to be strong and trust in your guides, trust in yourself that you deserve this. Accept that new beginning. Go with it. Have that fresh start and see what blooms for you. All right. For our last couple of oracles here, we have love who you are and follow your dreams, and help will find you in unforeseen ways. So for some of you, again, there may be that issue of not feeling worthy. Love who you are. You are worthy. And the person or people or spirit or being that has their eye on you, they believe you are worthy. And for some of you watching this reading, pile 2, you may have dreams about this relationship, but you've been resistant to it. You've been fighting who you were brought together with, fighting change, fighting vulnerability. Here you are encouraged, follow your dreams and help your guides who helped me choose these cards, who brought you to this video. Help will find you in unforeseen ways. So things will unfold for you. And we can't anticipate everything that's going to happen. And due to the nature of cartomancy in general, we can't even divine every single detail that's going to happen. There are limits to what we can see in the cards. Help will find you in unforeseen ways. And in the end, it's all going to work out, really. Increased tranquility. You're going to have a refuge. So, for the last thing that I would like to do here in this reading is I would like to go ahead and see what alphabet oracles we get for you. And if you are interested in this alphabet oracle, I ordered mine from the Hellenic Handmaid, and you can find her on Etsy, but she also has a private website also. So if you are interested in learning more about this oracle, by all means, please look it up. Okay. By the way, I have no associations with the Hellenic Handmaid. I just like to let people know where I got my divination supplies and to support small business owners. Anyway, so for this oracle, the way I use it, and there are many ways to do this sort of, I think the word is sortilege. I put the alphabet stones, we're going to call them, in a bowl or a cup, and you can spin them around until something pops out. You can also shake it until something pops out, and whatever falls out is what is meant for you. Okay, so here we have the letter Phi. So with Phi, the meaning of this alphabet oracle is divine support and divine guidance. And each letter has a little phrase associated with it that starts with the letter. For this one, the phrase is forthwith plant. For Demeter fosters well. So here you have divine support and divine guidance, and you are encouraged to, in this instance, grow your garden as the King of Coins, to plant your seeds. That is, open yourself up to taking a new step, taking a chance, knowing that you are divinely supported and guided. Open yourself up to taking the chance with this relationship, whatever it may be. It's going to go well for you. So, thank you so much for joining me for this reading, Pile 2. I hope that you enjoyed it and that it was helpful for you in some way. If you did find this reading helpful and enjoyable, please do leave me a like and consider subscribing so that hopefully I can see you in a future video. And until then, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for joining me in my first YouTube reading video that I'm doing for my channel. Thank you so much for your support, and until I see you again, take care. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome to a reading today for what message do your spirit guides have for you. If you chose Pile 3, then you chose the pile that uses the Mermaid Tarot and the messages from the Mermaid's Oracle. All of the decks used for the reading today were intuitively chosen, and when I lay out the cards, that will be intuitively done also. I apologize if the camera angle is a little different from most other YouTube tarot readers. There is a certain spread that I like to do when I do readings, and when I lay out the cards, it's mostly going to be done intuitively as well. So if it looks like I'm just putting cards in random places, just know that is with intention. So with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and separate the cards real quick. So for your reading today, I chose not just the main cards for the reading, but the shadow cards from each deck that was used. Along with the Mermaid Tarot, I have here the Prisma Visions Oracle, which is actually sort of like a alternative version of the tarot. And we'll just leave it at that. Okay. So I'm separating out here the shadow cards and everything. All right, so for our first 3 cards, since we are doing the mermaid themed reading this time. Right. Okay. Okay, so first we're going to begin with the center column here. This column of cards is the main theme, context, or energy, dominant energy of the situation here. So for your messages from the Mermaid's Oracle card, we have Go with the Flow. For the Fairy Wisdom Oracle, we have Hummingbird Dreams. And then for the Magic of the Unicorns Oracle, we have Soul Satisfaction. Honor your uniqueness. Do what makes you feel good. Very powerful message there. Okay. So, I'm going to real quick look up this one in the guidebook because I'm not entirely sure what this card may be pertaining to. I really like the deck, the artwork and everything, and the guidebook is fantastic. The problem is that the cards kind of make you dependent on the guidebook. So the names don't really do much to trigger intuition, and the artwork is not created specifically for this purpose. So, all right. So for the keyword for Hummingbird Dreams, we have the smallest. Even those who seem the least to us have their dreams. The tiniest and the weakest have their place in the universe just as we do. They have a special job that only they can do, a place that only they can fill. There is no one being that is more important or more worthy than another, regardless of the form in which they choose to express themselves in life. We marvel at the tiniest hummingbird. How can it move its wings so rapidly that it can hover in one spot and then fly off in a split second? What strength and agility it has. What divine form. It's hard to believe that something so tiny can bring so much beauty and wonder. If you are feeling small and insignificant, remember your uniqueness. The only shoes you have to fill are your own, and they fit you just fine. There are no insignificant people, none who are less whole than another. Eliminate prejudices and judgments, whether cast upon yourself or another. If you feel that someone is not up to your standards, then realize that is what you are projecting upon them. Change your perception and see them truly as they are, a reflection of God energy, just as you are. Spirit expresses through us in all its own way. It's not for us to second guess. If you are feeling less than whole, remember your divine birth and take comfort in knowing that you are divinely perfect. Pursue your dreams and know that you are divinely guided. Have faith in your dreams and your abilities. It's okay to have faith in other people's dreams. Help and encourage them to believe in themselves. Okay, so that is also a very profound message for you. So we're already off to quite a big start, pile 3. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the Mermaid tarot cards and see what these have in store for you. So we have the Hierophant, the 9 of Swords, ooh, the 4 of Cups, Strength, and the 3 of Wands. Okay. And then for your Enchanted Blossoms Oracle card, we have Persistence. The plant here is Euphorbia, and the butterfly wings come from the African swallowtail. Okay. So already we've got some really powerful messages here. So it seems like you may be dealing with some anxiety and some dissatisfaction on your path right now. And your guides are telling you to go with the flow. So the thing about the 9 of Swords is that sometimes we have real concerns. Oftentimes we have concerns over things that we cannot control. And other times we blow up fears over something and make them bigger than they actually are. So you're encouraged to go with the flow. I'm not sure exactly what you may be anxious about, but I'm feeling like this is more one of the situations where you've kind of blown something up bigger than what it actually is. And it may be some sort of anxiety over yourself, because we have the Hummingbird Dreams card, which is about feeling small, but still being strong, which is about how diversity is a good thing and how all of us are equal despite our differences. And then you have here soul satisfaction. Honor your uniqueness. Do what makes you feel good. So it does seem like there is a self-confidence issue here, that perhaps you feel like there is something that you are lacking, that you might feel like you need it to be whole, and it is beyond your grasp. But the good news is also that something is coming to you here. We have this mermaid here in the background bringing this human another cup. And I'm assuming the cup is full. So whatever it is that you feel like you are missing, whatever it is that you may feel like isn't good enough about yourself, know that you are perfect as you are. For starters, like, you don't need to change to be worthy. You don't need to change to be better or anything like that. You are perfect just the way you are. But you do have opportunity here coming towards you. So what's most interesting about this card here is that up here we have the Hierophant, and the Hierophant can often be a teacher or a guide or a leader in some way. And you need the courage to follow the guidance that you receive, to accept whatever is coming to you, be it some sort of gift, be it an opportunity for growth, be it something that you feel unworthy or unqualified for. You need to have the strength to accept it. And you need to put in the effort, rather, to pursue it, to fulfill it, to achieve the growth and the change that you desire. You need to have persistence. You may be afraid, stressed, worried, but don't give up. Those things are normal, and it is okay to feel that way. It's not wrong to feel that way if that is how you are feeling. But also know that you are being supported by your guides here, not just in this message, but all the time. That they are there for you, helping you. Even when you don't see them, even when you're not aware of their presence or their influence in your life, they are there acting for you on behalf of you. Okay, let's see what we have on the Prisma Vision side. So we have the Weaver. Very interesting. Probably, this is a court card, and I'm going to assume it has something to do with creation or creativity. Then we have the Swan. So this is essentially the High Priestess, a card of intuition. The Spirit Plane. This is, I want to say strength. No, the Chariot, I believe. The Chariot. Okay, I'm pretty sure I will double check for you guys. I will not just start talking about a card if I don't know what it's about. Don't worry. The Three of Trees. So, wow, again, this is the Three of Coins. I'm sorry. Three of Coins here. But we do have 2 threes. For a moment, I was associating trees with wands. So All right, and the Ace of Birds. This is like the Ace of Swords. Okay, and then lastly, we have the Owl Spirit, which brings wisdom. This is from the Sacred Forest Oracle. So, all right, what I'm seeing already is that you have the Four of Cups here across from the Ace of Birds. So this gift that is coming to you, it's going to be a gift of wisdom, of insight, of clear thought. It could be a gift of spiritual truth or quote unquote higher values, but it's going to be something that brings with it a new opportunity, a new beginning for you. It's going to offer new insight on the situation, on whatever is stressing you out and worrying you. And hopefully, whatever you find, it's going to be something that you will feel confident to invest in with your persistence and your strength. So let me take a moment to look up the Weaver in the guidebook for the Prism of Visions Oracle lookup. Okay, so here we have the Weaver. The mirror card for the Weaver is the Page of Swords. So the Weaver is essentially the Page of Swords. And it says the upright meanings for the Weaver are inspiring, intentional, and manifesting future. So the Page of Swords is someone who is diligent, who is vigilant. They are often learning something new, working on mastering a skill that they are already proficient in, but they still have more room for growth and advancement. And they need that persistence to achieve that growth. I also want to double check the spirit plane real quick before I continue. Okay, and just in case you would like to see, it says here that the swan is, the mirror card is the High Priestess, and that this card is protective, is a good omen, and brings clarity. So we kind of have that double gift of clarity and insight there. Let's see. Okay. Yes, and for the spirit plane, the mirror card is the Chariot, and the upright meaning is rest, feeling at home, and rejuvenation. Okay, so using those meanings instead of going off of more traditional Rider Waite, it's like spirit plane and being a place of rest is not really directly correlated with the Chariot, which is about movement. So the spirit plane. So I feel like here we can say that the Hierophant is probably a spiritual teacher or a spiritual guide coming into your life. It could be a new deity. It could be a new spirit guardian or guide. It could be a person who has something to teach you. Whatever it is, that there is going to be this new source of wisdom and insight coming into your life. And you will have illumination. You will also have, your own internal guidance, your intuition to help you with the situation. And it does seem like, going off the meanings of the spirit plane for the book, that whatever gift you are receiving here in the Four of Cups, whatever is coming to you, it's going to give you some relief from this here, from the Nine of Swords, from the anxiety, from the fear, from the stress, perhaps from the insomnia, perhaps, if you are someone, pile 3, watching and you struggle with insomnia, perhaps you will learn a new method or discover a new way of helping yourself relax so that you can sleep. and putting in, the work to make it work for you. But in any case, I feel like you're going to get some relief. You're finally going to feel more comfortable with whatever this situation is about for you, with whatever is causing you worry. And the Three of Trees, so it's interesting. You have possibly a teacher here. You have someone coming in here from outside to help you. And then you have the Three of Trees. So the Three of Trees is like the Three of Coins. And the Three of Coins is often a card that people understand as meaning teamwork. So you're not going to be alone on this journey. It seems like you definitely have the support of your guides, but it seems like you're going to have more than that. And what's coming for you, you just need to go with the flow. Accept yourself as you are. Learn to love yourself. Learn to be satisfied with your uniqueness. And whatever your dreams, have the courage to pursue what makes you happy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bring out the shadow cards. We're going to see what new messages we get in the reading here with that. Okay, so for the new messages from the Mermaid's Oracle, we have gratitude. So whatever gift is coming to you, it's probably something that you're going to be grateful to receive. Whatever aid or support that's coming, it's probably something that's going to really help you feel comfortable, give you some relief. Let's go with this one next because I don't have to rely on the guidebook for this. Yes. Okay. Caring community. Participate and belong. Enrich your life. So, the teamwork message here from the three of trees or Three of Coins, and the Hierophant, the teacher here, spirit guide here. It seems that you do have a caring community available to you. It may be a community you have not discovered yet, and that is going to come into your life very soon. It could also be a group that you know about, but that you haven't felt comfortable joining. Perhaps you've had some reservations, and you're going to learn something new, and you're going to feel more comfortable putting in the effort to become a part of that group. Okay, let's see what the fairy wisdom, the magic frog. I have a feeling this one's going to be very similar to the hummingbird, but let's take a look here. I don't know why that just makes me chuckle. Okay, so the keyword for the magic frog is child. Frog fairies know how to be childlike. They encourage innocence and imagination and make us believe in miracles. If you have drawn this card, you are being asked to pay attention to that small child part of you. Nurture her with playfulness and kind words. Praise her accomplishments. Let her splash in mud puddles or sing a silly song. Let her giggle. Help her to find magic in everything she sees. Lay off work a bit and take time for joyful fun. If you've forgotten how to play, then ask a fairy or a small child to help you remember. They know what to do and will guide your every step of the way. Keep an open heart. Fairies and small children have open hearts. Believe. Visualize yourself holding your small self in your arms and rocking and singing her a lovely lullaby. Tell her how much she is loved and how special she is. Feel your hearts connecting as one as the child snuggles up against your chest. Visualize the healing of all tears and wounds as that energy just dissipates and the void is filled with loving energy. Now the child is ready to play. Hop to it. Hop to it, hence the frog. Okay. So here we have a message about healing your inner child and about accepting your inner child, also embracing it. You may be someone who is naturally very creative, or maybe even naturally a little immature, people might say. It's okay to have that childlike, open-minded sense of wonder, especially if you're someone who is very spiritual. That is a trait that is really going to help you. And if that's something that you don't have, finding that in yourself will help any spiritual person on their path. Okay, let's turn over the tarot cards here. So we have the High Priestess again, this time on the Mermaid tarot side, and then we have the 10 of Trees or the 10 of Coins. So here we have the community. Community. This can be family, but this doesn't look like your normal home. This looks more like a kind of a civic building almost. A castle of some sort, maybe a temple. The 10 of Trees. Your community is coming together and growing, and you are growing with them. You have that support network, the roots and the branches. And then the High Priestess here. So your anxiety will be hopefully relieved, because you'll know that you can trust your inner guidance. You'll know that you were correct all along in whatever you were doubting or worrying about. For the Enchanted Blossoms shadow card, we have appreciation. Oh, wow. So gratitude and appreciation. The flower in this one is obviously the sunflower, and the butterfly wings come from the Diana fritillary. I think that's correct. So appreciation. Again, whatever is coming for you, it's something that you're going to be happy to have in your life. So it is something that you're definitely encouraged to embrace it. Don't be afraid of it. Don't feel ashamed about any aspect of yourself. Then here for the Sacred Forest Oracle, wow, we have the Phoenix, transmutation. This is rebirth. This is transformation. So this coming together with community or family, whatever this is, whatever this support network winds up being for you, it's going to have a transformative and empowering effect on you. It's going to be a very positive thing for you, for your journey. And your guides want you to know that it's coming, that it's there for you. So be sure that you are open and ready to receive it, to be a part of it, to participate. You know, we are the co-creators of our reality. So we have to engage. We have to put in the work and the effort. We have to have the strength. We have to have, was it persistence? Yes, we have to have persistence. There's only so much that going with the flow can do on its own. You have to participate with the flow. Like these trees and this tower didn't become conjoined like that by chance. This is intentional. And this takes work and investment to build, but it's also worth it to have this to have this community, this security, this happy place. Okay, let's look at your last few oracle cards here. So first we have the Keeper of Whispers, the Mad Prophet, Curiosity, Madness, Forbidden Knowledge. Okay, then we have the Ageless, the Light in the Darkness, Healing, Graciousness, and Acceptance. So here we have very clearly, you are moving from the Nine of Swords, madness, towards healing, towards acceptance, and particularly self-acceptance. And graciousness, this is reminding me of gratitude here and of appreciation over here. So this is, you are progressing, you are moving, or you have an opportunity for progress, advancement, and movement forward on your path. That's what this is. And the forbidden knowledge, too, reminds me of the Ace of Birds and the two High Priestesses here. And even the Hierophant bringing you that knowledge, that enlightenment, that wisdom. Curiosity, even that keyword here, is very applicable to this reading, because if you are curious about what is coming to you in the Four of Cups, if you're willing to accept it, to inspect it, to accept it and see if it's worthy, it will bring you to this place, this energy of the ageless, the light in the darkness. The anxiety, the madness is going to, if not go away completely, then at least hopefully be significantly reduced for you. And healing and graciousness, acceptance. These are wonderful energies for you to have available to you right now. Okay, the last two oracle cards. Make the choice that empowers you. This is extremely important. Do not let fear, worry, anxiety scare you away from making the choice that will empower you for your own highest good. Obviously, if you have genuine reasons to be worried for your safety or your well-being, then listen to that intuition from the High Priestess. Listen to what other guidance you have. Ultimately, you need to make the choice that you are going to be comfortable with, most comfortable with, and that you are going to grow in, that you are going to be empowered by. This is making me think of a quote that I saw recently. Someone posted on Twitter that comfort zones are nice places, but nothing grows there. The choice that empowers you is also going to be the choice that's going to help you grow. So you need to make that choice for your highest good, your well-being. Empower yourself. And in doing so, become a part of a community or chosen family, a family group, whomever you wind up connecting with, spiritual group. And that could be spiritual beings also. Make the choice that empowers you. And hopefully by becoming part of this caring community, then you will be empowering your community also. And lastly, we have believe in your dreams. Your dreams are worthy. You are worthy. You are encouraged by your guides to pursue them. Again, for your highest good and for your happiness, for your wholeness and your growth, your empowerment, go for it. Whatever it is that you are thinking of, that you are considering, go for it. So the last thing I have for you here is a Greek alphabet oracle. And I purchased mine from the Hellenic Handmade on Etsy. However, she also has a website here that you are welcome to go to. If you don't want to shop through Etsy, if you've heard about the exploitation of the shops on Etsy, I wouldn't blame you at all for not wanting to support them. Definitely check out her personal website. I'm not affiliated with her, by the way. I'm just including this information because I like to support small businesses and because that's where I got my alphabet oracle. And I will have links in below to, in the description to the decks and the oracle itself. Anyway, to use this oracle, you put the letters, the stones, in a cup or a bowl. This is how I do it. There are many methods. You can shake it like this until a stone falls out, or like this, or a mix of the two. I usually do this to try to mix them up. And trust that whatever stone comes out is the message that's meant for you. Okay, wow. You got 3 of them. Everyone else only got 1. Okay, so okay. So if you're not familiar with how this alphabet oracle works, each letter has a phrase associated with it. The phrase begins with the first letter, or the first letter of the phrase begins with the letter on the stone or the tile or whatever your alphabet oracle happens to be on. So for this one, the letter is theta. And the phrase, the verse associated with this one is, "Thou hast gods as comrades and aids." You have divine support, divine aid, and protection. Another translation for this one is, "Thou hast gods as helpers on this path." So for this path ahead of you right now, this decision that you are facing, this information that's coming for you, it is divinely supported. You are divinely guided. For this one here, the oracle phrase or verse is, "Make no haste. In vain you press ahead." And the meaning for this is to have patience, to act with prudence. An alternative translation for this verse is, "Mandatory toil. The change is good." And for that verse, the meaning of this stone is to have strength, or that energy is coming to you. So do not act hastily. Remember that something is coming to you, likely more information from the Ace of Swords, and possibly more information from a teacher or a figure of authority. So don't act hastily. Wait until you receive more information and then, in prudence, make your decision about how to respond, how to move forward. And for this one, new, see if the camera will focus on it. Okay. Right, so the verse for new is, "Now springs forth the fitting time for all. And this is about opportunity and timing. So this opportunity is coming for you. You need to accept it, but you need to wait for the right timing. And again, that will come after you have more information where you feel comfortable making this choice, where you can make this choice prudently. Don't rush into it. An alternative translation for the verse of this: Nike's gift enwreaths the oracle. And that means that there is a victory or a prize coming to you. Nike is the goddess of victory, and her name begins with the new. So embracing this gift that she brings you will bring victory for you, but you need to do so at a time when you are comfortable, at a time when you can do so prudently, when you feel secure and ready. So with all of that said, I hope that this reading was helpful for you and enjoyable. Thank you so much for joining me on this, my first tarot reading for my YouTube channel, Pile 3. I really appreciate your support, and I hope, again, that this reading was helpful for you in some way. And if you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing so that hopefully I can see you again in another video. And until then, take care.